Ladies and gentlemen, it seems like Musk is calming down and could be on the verge of an apology, one that is much needed to Donald Trump, who's been just so stoic and so calm throughout this little skirmish with Elon. We know 2 days ago, Elon, in what was bubbling up for a while, it's now come out, according to the New York Times, it's Trump not picking the person Musk wanted for the head of NASA. It's a number of other things. It's Musk being in meetings where he wasn't invited. He didn't have the security clearance. And so Musk was wearing thin, and he leaves Doge and then makes it about this bill and blows up. And now you've got Musk deleting his big tweet about Epstein. You can see Elon just deleted this post. What do you think is going on? And this is not the only post Musk deleted. He's deleted a number of posts in relation to bad mouthing Trump. And now you can see Musk in replies. We can understand what he's insinuating here. Musk yesterday talked about, I want to launch the America Party. I mean, the first big problem with like all these other parties, they're all just, the names are so cringy. I always think like the Patriot Party, America Party, but Musk has said, well, we should launch a new party. That's another video for another day. If a third party could ever work in the United States based off of the amount of money that goes into both the Democrat and Republican parties, it seems like a third party would have been a lot more palatable in the 90s when we were a more unified country and there wasn't the social media that's pushing everyone. I mean, you've got liberals who say, well, if you're an independent, you're the enemy. So it's like, well, how can we really have a third party if that's the case? I mean, maybe you could try and work something out, but you can see, what does this insinuate here? Musk says, he says, I think it's time to create a new political party in America. This is during the crash out. Trump has speculated. They asked Trump. He's very nice that he's on the Air Force One. They asked Trump, they're like, is this the drugs? And Trump's like, I don't want to get into that. You know, we see some articles, we see some reports. I'm not going to get into it. We're going to give Elon time to cool down. And Trump said he wished him well, and then Elon responded, but you can see it says Elon starts a new political party, gets 20% of the vote, mostly former Republicans. Dems win supermajority. Dems throw Elon in prison. Yeah, pretty much. So it's basically Musk agreeing this party would probably not be a very good idea, possibly calming down a little bit. Musk says fair enough. This was in response to Trump saying, we'll take a look at everything on canceling Elon Musk's contracts. Again, Trump is not saying we're going to cancel all of it. They asked him, he said, we'll look at it. It's not, it's a very cordial response. It's very non-threatening from Trump. And then Musk appreciates it, says fair enough. And then Musk says in a response here, likewise to Trump, saying, I just wish Elon well. And so Musk is saying, I wish Trump well as well. So see, you can see Musk is cooling down now. And it seems like there's some inner workings here to where Trump understands there were some other things going on with Musk. Whether it's the autism, whether it's the drugs, I mean, there's other things at play here. We understand that. And I think Trump he's understanding, and he is giving Musk some time now, and it seems like Musk is calming down. You've got this YouGov poll showing Trump with a 65-point advantage over Musk among Republicans. And this is the problem for Musk. It's not like Musk can go back to the Democrats after helping fund Trump's campaign. And I mean, he did help Trump win. I think Trump very easily could have won without Musk. There's always going to be money in politics. You're always going to get donations. But the Democrats got more overall money than the Republicans, and Trump still won very easily. He won every swing state. He won the popular vote. So, I mean, that's another story for another day. But this whole idea to where one billionaire could just become this bully and say, I'm the only reason you won. Now, it's my way in terms of these bills. It's, come on. Like, and the whole idea of the bill, it's to cut taxes. That's what the bill is. It's not, I mean, yes, they're raising the military budget by 150 billion. I think that's bad. But I do agree with the Golden Dome. Look, the point here is that Musk is simmering down. Musk will have to give Trump some type of apology, I would imagine. There probably will be a phone call. It came out yesterday. Well, Trump's not talking to Musk, but then they asked Trump all these questions, and Trump says, I just wish Elon well. I think there's other stuff going on. I'm not going to comment on the drug usage and any of that. And so it seems like there's already some repair to this relationship between Trump and Musk, and it seems like they kind of need each other at this point with how far Elon is with this relationship with Trump. And so the Epstein stuff, I've already explained 100 times how ridiculous it is. It is, and you know what? It could have been as simple as this if you're a liberal. They could have just unsealed and revealed the stuff in relation to Trump on Epstein and kept all the other stuff hidden and just burned it or deleted it. I mean, that would have been the easiest thing for them to do. They hate Donald Trump. Of course, if there was anything incriminating against Trump in relation to Epstein, that would have come out. They had nothing on Trump. Their October surprise was Trump saying that he wished his generals were like Hitler's generals. That was their October surprise. You really don't think if they had this huge bombshell, they wouldn't release it in relation to Epstein because they're worried about Bill Clinton going down? Really? When you've got an election in 3 weeks and Trump's up in all the polls? Come on. It's just ridiculous that people would even say that. So that argument, it makes no sense. Oh, they're protecting their own. Really? They're protecting their own? They're rabidly trying to destroy Trump's life. They hit him with 34 misdemeanors. Only time it's ever happened. Misdemeanors elevated to felonies. Only time. But no, they're going to keep the Epstein stuff sealed. Heaven forbid Bill Clinton goes down. I mean, they could have just hid that stuff. It's so ridiculous. So the Epstein thing, Musk wanted the shock value. He was very angry. He does the weird things to where he's bipolar, the mood swings. And so he releases it. He knows what it's going to insinuate. And I think he realized, well, this is not good because we know Trump is involved in terms of the overall file package because there's so widespread, huge files. And obviously Trump did have a relationship with Epstein. He kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago because of the way Epstein was acting. And so if that's in the file, oh, Trump's guilty of kicking Epstein out and having a relationship with Epstein because Epstein was orbiting all these people because of how rich they were. This is just how it is. And so, but that doesn't mean Trump went to the island or any of that. There's the implication that he did because Musk is having an argument with Trump and says, oh, Trump's involved, so he's covering up the Epstein files. That's why they're not released. I mean, we have to use some common sense when it comes to the Democrats controlling the executive branch the last 4 years, knowing that Trump was going to be the nominee, knowing he had a good chance to win. You don't think they would have released something? Come on. And so that's really the problem with Musk, and Musk's going to have to apologize for that. I mean, that's a really bad thing. That's why people were saying, well, Trump should sue Musk for defamation. I think Trump just wants Musk to calm down. Musk is very important. You've got J.D. Vance walking on eggshells, but he came out. He had a podcast with Theo Vaughn. You got Kash Patel on Rogan trying to traverse this live when it comes out. He says, I'm not involved in any of that. And so Vance did end up supporting Trump, but it's like one of these things to where you have to traverse it and you want to massage the relationship with Musk. But at what point it's like, if he's going to accuse Trump and insinuate this is a big problem. And he shouldn't be doing that. And there should be an apology. But it's like you have to kind of massage it because Musk is so important in terms of the amount of money he has and overall power because of that money. And it's almost like Musk is in too deep now with Trump to really pivot back. So at this point, the relationship dynamic, I think, will be an apology from Musk, probably behind the scenes. And my guess is Trump is a lot of Republicans are saying, well, we can't view Musk the same. He's totally unpredictable. This didn't really have anything to do with this spending bill. This was a lot deeper. And there's a number of things that have come up. You look at some of the recent reports on the relationship. The relationship was fracturing for about a month, maybe a little bit longer, in terms of the power that Musk wanted within the administration that he didn't have. And it's got to be tough when you're as extremely rich as Musk is, when you own X, you expect certain things. And when you've got a governmental role like he had to where, he wasn't elected. And so Trump is saying, listen, you don't have the power to do a lot of this stuff. And when you're talking about the head of NASA, you want to be buddy-buddy with him for SpaceX to work out a better situation for your company. We just can't do this. He donates to Democrats. I'm not going to consider him. And so Musk gets angry about that. And so there's a number of things that lead up to this, but it's not just this bill to where it's like, well, it's not even really a spending bill. It's just a bunch of tax cuts. That's why they're saying there's going to be more debt. And look, I agree. I think the bill is not 1,000% ideal, but you're not gonna have a perfect situation. I mean, if you want to try and really eliminate the deficit, there's going to be things that they're just not possible right now. And it is crazy to say that in terms of cutting some of the entitlements, and the idea is to cut the fraud off of it. But we know with the government efficiency, no matter what you cut, because it's a Republican doing the cuts, they will say, well, you're killing people indirectly by cutting off this money and this. So you really can't win. That's the problem. But with entitlements, that's even worse because that's not foreign money. That's not USAID. That's what people would perceive to be you're cutting off coverage for Americans or benefits for Americans. And so that's like 10 times worse, even though based off of the issues we have within our budget, the entitlements are a huge problem and they have to be completely redone. And there's got to be things that have to be eliminated. And there is a bunch of fraud. But even who say we're just going to attack the fraud, they will say, well, no. But even with this stuff that they're cutting, they just started barely to go into Medicaid and not Medicare, which costs more for the government, Medicaid. And it's like, well, they'll save around $80 billion per year. And they try and swing it like, oh, they're cutting off a bunch of Americans. And if you actually look at it, it's like, well, able-bodied people, it's completely reasonable removals is what it is. And it's things that have to be done. So it's like liberals complain about the debt, but then when we try and do something about it, they complain that we're cutting. Well, yes, we have to cut. That's the way you eliminate it. Either way, I think Musk realized that he freaked out. He's, very sporadic, and this is something that Trump understands with his personality type. And so he's given Musk some time to calm down. But this is a big problem. You can't insinuate with the whole Epstein stuff. I mean, that's next level. That's why originally I wasn't taking this seriously. I was like, oh, this is funny. Okay, this is the H-1B thing. Musk kind of got really angry about that. He showed his fangs. He started swearing and stuff. And it's like, come on, bro, calm down. You're acting like a 3-year-old. But with this, then he brings up the Epstein stuff. It's like, now we're going from 0 to 100. What are we doing here? Now you're just beckoning in all the liberals to say, oh, we're right and all this stuff. And without even understanding the context of it. And so now you have to do the damage control on this. But I think Trump's come out very positive with this. The base 1000% still supports Trump. And at this point, Musk is doing a pivot. Trump says, I hope he does well. We're going to look at the contracts. We're not going to do anything rash. If it's right for the American people, that's how we're going to balance this off of. That's what our decisions are going to be made off of. And we're just gonna act like that. And then Musk says, you know what? He says likewise. I want everything to be well. I want Trump to be well. So you can see Musk in the replies already starting to come back to the table. But again, when you're talking about this to where you bring up the Epstein stuff, oh, the reason he didn't release the Epstein files is because he's in them. Okay, what does that mean? And now he deletes the post and he's deleting all these other posts. And it's like there's some regret here. It seems like from Musk, and we'll see if there's an apology. I think it'd be good. But, Trump obviously is not going to be happy with something like that. You can have your disagreement with this bill and say, well, this is ridiculous. How are you increasing the military budget $150 billion when we have a $1 trillion interest payment every year that keeps going up? Come on. And we can discuss that and we can say, well, that's politics. We understand that it's in the senator's hands right now. They're making changes. They're going to eliminate some of this stuff. We'll see what they do. But then to go from that to the Epstein, it's like, come on. That's why I wasn't taking it seriously until that came up, because it's like, okay, but that's the thing. It's like, is it really about this bill? It really can't be. There's got to be more to the story, and there was more to the story. So either way, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you like the video down below. Also follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.